Everywhere you go, especially if you're a bimbler, there are listed buildings, hundreds of them, just like this, St Paul's Church here in Stockport. All the big grand houses, the old cottages and the ancient churches. But what about the strange stuff, the little stuff, the objets d'art, the curiously listed? Well, Stockport has loads of them. Let's bimble. Even just outside of St Paul's Church, you have a curiously listed war memorial, a sculpture by John Cassidy of a First World War soldier. But there's more curious things here on Heaton Moor Road, just down there.
Minimal force is the groove, magnetically brought me to you. Visions that cut through the cold to my heart. Feelings of warmth now resume, feeling that coming from you burst into words.
Does it get any more curiously listed than an electrical substation? We visited one in the last episode. That was a place to park your hearse whilst you're at your funeral in Runcorn, and then they transformed it into an electrical substation. But this one here on Heaton Moor Road in Stockport has always been an electrical substation. It was only listed in 2009, but it was built in 1902. It's one of the earliest examples you're likely to find. Just bear in mind, the national grid didn't come to be until 1935, and before that you had the CEB, the Central Electricity Board. That was 1926. In 1902, it would have been the Manchester Corporation that built this substation for the affluent people of Heaton Moor. Just around the corner from the quaint old electrical substation is an old cinema. Not the only old cinema here in Stockport. We're going to be visiting another one. But first, we have to go and visit something equally as filthy and dingy. Let's bimble.
As if this was love that I felt, falling for somebody else, taking my eyes from the ground, turning my heart upside down. As if this could change all the past, fixing the bruise from the last time that I felt anything. As if this was love that I felt, as if this was somebody else. Out some colourful sparks, brought back to light from the dark, broke out in shimmering.
If you think that an electrical substation is a little bit dirty and obscure, what about an engine house on Bowerfold Lane? It was an engine house for the London and North Western Railway's goods warehouse, which is just opposite, and curiously, I don't think that's listed. It's a safe store self-storage these days. That's easy for me to say. It was all built in 1877, and apparently during World War II it was hit with a bomb, but it managed to survive, so it deserves to be listed. Let's bimble.
Sepia tint but the same, familiar in simplified ways, broke down the lily white scars to my heart. As if this was love that I felt, falling for somebody else, taking my eyes from the ground, turning my heart upside down. As if this could change all the past, fixing the bruise from the last time that I felt anything.
This is Stockport Plaza, a Grade 2 listed cinema here in Stockport town centre. You might have seen it on the small screen. It's been on that Life on Mars, and it was in a BBC biopic about Morecambe and Wise called Eric and Ernie. It's also been in Peaky Blinders, we'll be back here for a peaky bimble. A fantastic building, but not curiously listed. I mean, it is listed, but it's not very curious that it is listed. It's beautiful. The curiously listed building around here are the steps to the side. They were built in 1929, 3 years before the cinema was built, and they're made of Portland stone. That stone that comes from Portland in Dorset, as in Portland Bill. I went there to watch that eclipse in 1999. Portland stone is from the Jurassic era. That's your Brachiosaurus and your Brontosaurus and your Diplodocus. And it would have been formed in shallow tropical seas before the tectonic plates shifted and it all ended up in England. But is there anything else made of stone around here? Let's have a look, shall we?
This was somebody else. As if this was love that I felt, falling for somebody else, taking my eyes from the ground, turning my heart upside down. As if this could change all the past, fixing the bruise from the last time that I felt anything.
Just off Great Underbank here in Stockport, you'll find something much older than the Plaza Cinema and the steps to the side of it. The remnants of the old medieval town wall of Stockport. It's made out of sandstone, which is what Stockport stands on. It's the Mersey Valley. And the Mersey Valley would have been a desert on the equator in the Triassic era, much older than that newfangled Portland stone from the Jurassic era. The small section of the old medieval town wall is intermingled with the new shops. Well, I say new shops, new by comparison. It's just down from the Grade 2 listed market hall. But there's more curiously listed treats here in Stockport, also on Great Underbank. Let's bimble.
Time that I felt anything, as if this was love that I felt.
Here on Great Underbank, you have the evergreen of the curiously listed building, the K6 phone box. These symbols of Britishness were designed by Sir Giles Gilbert Scott, the grandson of Sir George Gilbert Scott. Sir Giles Gilbert Scott designed Battersea Power Station and the Forth Road Bridge, amongst lots of other things. The K in K6 stands for kiosk, and this is the 6th version of the phone box. I don't want to give out too much information about these K6 telephone boxes, because they are everywhere, and we might want to talk about it in a later episode of Curiously Listed. But I will say this, in 1935 there were 19,000 phone boxes in the UK, and thanks to the K6, in 1940 there were 35,000. Which meant more people were talking on the old dog and bone.
As if this was somebody else.
Also close to Stockport town centre, you have St Peter's Church, one of my favourite types of churches, pre-Gothic, all square and municipal in demeanour, and Grade 2 listed. Nothing too curious about that though. The curiously listed building around here is the statue behind me. It's a statue of Richard Cobden. Richard Cobden was a liberal and a radical and a politician, and he started the Anti-Corn Law League with another fella called John Bright. Basically, the Corn Laws said that you couldn't sell imported corn cheaper than you could sell British grown corn, which on the face of it sounds like a good idea. But what it actually meant was landowners were increasing their rents and the farmers were pushing that cost onto the price of the corn, which made flour very expensive, which made bread very expensive, and bread is what poor people ate. It's the real reason why people in Ireland were starving during the potato famine, because what they ate was potatoes, but they did grow a lot of corn and wheat. but it was thought to be too valuable to give to the Irish, so people were starving. It also caused the Peterloo Massacre. That was when the British cavalry charged against some protesters at a political gathering of the working class. That was over in Manchester. That's why you have the Free Trade Hall in Manchester, to commemorate it. Anyway, Richard Cobden's the man that brought that hunger to an end, and for that he gets himself a statue here in Stockport, grade 2 listed, and another statue in St Anne's Square in Manchester, and a bust in the town hall.
Are easiest to make. Aim for the stars, it's yours, just wait.
They have a very grand town hall here in Stockport, grade 2 listed, special interest. It was designed by an Alfred Brumwell Thomas. He also designed Belfast City Hall and the Woolwich Town Hall down in that London. He made all these buildings out of Portland stone, just like the steps at the plaza. It's not the only thing made out of Portland stone that's listed in the vicinity. There's something much more curious around the corner.
It's those arms that told me I don't care if it's yours or mine. Without you it's just a waste of time. You showed me from the start such inspiration.
Not one, but 2 Portland stone shelters, perhaps for the trams or perhaps for the buses. The stone was sculpted into Corinthian columns to give it that classical Greek feel, and this one is on Greek Street. But there's some more Corinthian columns that are curiously listed just over the way. Can't wait to get out of here. Stinks a wee.
Get lost along the way.
1, 2, 3, 4 Corinthian columns. Well, actually, the Corinthian capitals, that's the bit that stands on top of the columns. They're from a house that was demolished in the 19th century, and they're made out of sandstone, not Portland stone. But there's something over there that might point us in the right direction of home.
Hard to hold you down.
Also just outside the town hall is this cast iron guidepost from 1935. It tells you how far away some local things are, like Marple and Cheadle, and also some really useful things like London and Carlisle. Does it say how far away my house is? Guess I'll just get the train.